All right, today, lesson 7a, subtracting integers. We're splitting this up into a couple of days. Today, our focus will be using number lines to find the difference of integers. Using the number lines for subtraction is similar to adding integers, and so this should go fairly quickly. The language objective, when you get together with your shoulder partner, you will verbally describe what you did on your number line to find the difference of the integers. And of course, we have our usual, why am I learning this? So let's get started. So far, before today, we've talked about how to add integers by comparing with symbols and with number lines. When we compare, like in this problem, I asked you specific questions. I asked you, do we have more positives or more negatives? Well, in this problem, do we have more positives or more negatives? More negatives. That told us that the answer was negative. And so since we have more negatives, how many negatives do we have? 6 negatives. How many positives do we have?
3.
We know that we have more negatives. That made it negative. How many more negatives do we have than positives? 3. And that made the answer negative 3. And that also, in some respects, is where symbols come in, where we actually write down the number of symbols. So if we use symbols, here we have 3 positive symbols and 6 negative symbols. We cancel out all of the 0 pairs, and of course, that leaves us with negative 3. That's just another way of seeing that the answer should be negative 3. And then we went to number lines, and when we use a number line, we start at the first number, which happens to be positive 3, and then the plus symbol tells us to go in the positive direction or forwards. But then that negative symbol right next to it tells us, nope, turn around and go the other way. So once again, and this is key for today, this tells us to go forwards, but then this tells us, no, turn around and go the opposite direction. And once again, that's going to be key for today. But in this problem, we go backwards 6 places, which took us to negative 3. Okay? And the explanation is we start at 3, we go forwards, no, we turn around and go the opposite direction, 6, which took us to the negative 3. All right, I have another problem up here, but I don't think we need to do that one. So let's just go ahead and get started with the subtraction. Here is number 1. Today our focus is strictly on number lines. So just like with adding, we start at the very first number. The very first number is a positive 3. So please put a dot at positive 3. Now, if you totally understood how to use the number line with adding, you should get what we are supposed to do with subtracting. So now, my question to you is, that symbol right there, that's right next to the 3, or in between the 3 and the 6, that tells you which direction you're supposed to go. Which direction do you think we're supposed to go? Right or left?
Left.
Left, yes. And there's nothing else in there that tells us to go any other direction, so therefore we're going to go left or backwards or in the negative direction, however you want to think about that. 6 places. So do that right now, please. And where does that lead us to? Negative what? Negative 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in a lot of respects, it's really almost the same thing as when we're adding. We just have to pay attention to where we're starting and which direction we're supposed to go and how many places we're supposed to go. So when we eventually start shoulder partnering, you're also going to be explaining. So here's what you would say. You would say, I'm starting at 3, I'm going backwards 6 places. And that left me at negative 3. All right, everybody try number 2. In this problem, where are we starting? 12. Which direction will I be going from 12? Right or left? Left, because of the negative symbol right there, or the subtraction symbol, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to go left 4 places, and where does that leave us at? Where does it leave us? 7.
8.
8. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. That leaves us right there at positive 8. So eventually, once again, when we shoulder partner, we explain by saying we start at 12, and we go left or backwards 4 places, and that left us at positive 8. All right, let's take a look at number 3. In fact, I want everybody to try that one. Where are we starting with this problem? At what? Negative 3. All right, so we put a dot at negative 3. Will I be going left or right? Left. Or backwards. How many places? 9. And where will that leave us at? Negative what? Negative 12. Good. So we go backwards 9 places, and that leaves us at negative 12. And so what that means is that negative 3 minus 9 is negative 12. We start at negative 3, we go backwards 9 places, and that leaves us at negative 12. All right. Let's take a look at number 4. Obviously, we will be starting at negative 11. But what's different about this problem compared to number 1, number 2, and number 3? What is different about it?
There's another negative difference.
Okay, so what is that? How does that affect the direction that we're going then? How will that affect it? And you have to do the same kind of thinking that we thought about when we were adding. Yes? But how does that affect which direction we're going? Let me help you out a little bit. What direction does that symbol tell us to go? To the left. But then what does that tell us to do? Left. We were already going left. This one tells us to go left. What does this one tell us to do? It tells us to turn around and go the other direction. Well, the opposite direction to left is to right. So once again, that first, the subtraction symbol tells us to go left, but then the negative symbol right next to it tells us no, turn around and go the other direction. So I'm going to let you finish that one. So Angel, where would that leave us? At negative 8. So the difference of negative 11 minus negative 3 is negative 8. We're going to go left, but no, we have to turn around and go right, and that leaves us at negative 8 on the number line. All right. Number 5. Everybody give it a shot. What'd you get?
You got negative 13.
Negative 13. Very good. We start at negative 7. The subtraction symbol tells us to go backwards or to the left. We're not going to have to turn around and go right, but we're going to go left 6 places, and that would leave us at negative 13. Okay. Now, we're getting ready to do our shoulder partnering part. So for each of the following problems, use a number line to find the difference and explain in words how you came to your conclusion. Now, we'll do our normal thing. The 1s will take the odd number problems. The 2s will take the evens. So go ahead and first, by yourself, solve number 6, 7, and 8, and then we'll do the shoulder partnering thing, okay? I'll give you about a minute and a half to do that. All right. So, what you should have done for number 6 is you should have started at negative 11, and then you should have gone to the left 4, and that would lead you to negative 15. So the difference of negative 11 and 4 is negative 15. You started at negative 11, you went backwards or in the negative direction 4 places, and that's why it's negative 15. For number 7, you should have started at negative 3, and then the first subtraction symbol, or the subtraction symbol, tells you to go left, but then this one says no, you better turn around and go the other direction. So when you see this, that basically is telling you left, but no, turn around and go right. So to go to the right, and that would lead us to positive 11. So start at negative 3, go backwards. No, turn around and go forwards, or the opposite direction, and that would leave you at 11. Number 8, we start at negative 17. Subtraction symbol tells us to go left, but then the negative right next to it says no, turn around and go right, and that would leave us at negative 14. So the difference of negative 17 and negative 3 is negative 14. All right, so now go to the back side. Here you see a mixture of what we've been dealing with this week. There are a few addition ones and a few subtraction ones. We have a big number line. For some of those problems, you may need to extend your number line out a little bit. But right now, I would like you to do all 6, and then we're going to compare answers with our shoulder partner. So I'll give you about 2 minutes. Go. All right, for number 9, you are supposed to start at negative 2, which is right there. And then this tells you to go left, but then this says no, turn around and go to the right, or in the positive direction. So you're going that direction 19 places. And that would leave us at 17. Number 10 says let's start at negative 8, which is right here. And then that tells us to go left, and we're staying left because we don't have another negative to tell us to go in the other direction. So we're going this way 14 places. 14 places. So that means we end up at negative 22. Number 11, we are starting at negative 25. Well, I don't have a number line that goes out that far, so let me make another one. Here's negative 25. Way down here is 0. And this tells us that we need to go in the positive direction 17 places. Now, if you did this one in your head, or by comparing, that would be okay, because that's addition. We have 8 more negatives than we do positives. And in fact, if we moved 17 places, that's right there where we would end up at, negative 8. So that one is negative 8. Number 12. We are supposed to start at positive 8 on the number line. That tells us to go left. We continue going left because we don't have another negative that tells us to go back the other direction. So we're going to go this way, 17 places. And that would leave us right here at negative 9. Number 13. This one I could see if you didn't do number line because we've been working on addition. We have 13 negatives and 0 positives, so it has to be negative 13. And then number 14, we start at negative 9, which is right here. That tells us to go left. And keep going left. We're going to go 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, which of course leaves us at negative 13. Are there any questions so far? Yes?
I did have a question, but I wanted to say for number 9, when I have problems like those, for the second number, if it's negative, I just take the negative sign and put it with the subtraction sign, and I make a addition sign.
Yeah, and that's one thing we're going to deal with on Monday. We're going to realize that when we start seeing things like this, that's really the same thing as this. We're also going to learn that this, number 10, is really the same thing as this. We're also going to learn that number 12 is the same thing as this. We're also going to learn that number 14 is the same thing as that. But we will be working with that on Monday. All right, we are finished for today. Let's go ahead and put the notes away.